All right. In this video, we are going to add an image carousel using Bootstrap to our Bootstrap practice page. Um, on the home page right now, I've got this picture of a bear and a cub, and I want to replace that with a sliding image carousel that'll have multiple pictures. The pictures that I'm going to use are the same pictures that are already loaded in here. Um, this bear image is going to be the first image in the carousel. Then I want to just pick other images that have the same dimensions. So I'm going to make sure that I could choose this earth image as the second one, and then maybe the Sierras as the third, and then the surfer as the fourth. And if I wanted to add a fifth one, I could do the tiger. I think that all of these have the same dimensions. When I save them, they all have 800 by 600 in the name. So I'm assuming that they all have the same size. It's important that they have the same size. Um, Otherwise, it'll look a little bit wonky. In fact, I might make a mistake intentionally and make sure that I put one that has a different size in so we could see the difference. Okay, let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is figure out where I want it. So I'm going to move to index.html and I'm going to find the bear image. So let me make some of these a little bit bigger. I can see I have the nav bar right here. I'm just going to use this little toggle on the side to collapse the nav bar. Now I know that all of those 24 lines of code are all right there. Now I'm in the container. If I collapse the container, everything on my whole page should collapse. So I don't want to do that, but I can collapse the top row. I know it's not in that top row. It's in this second row where it says bear heading. And if I go to a little bit larger screen, they'll go side by side. So the first column is this text on the left-hand side. We can see right there. So here I finally have found my bear image. Okay. This is the spot where I want to place my carousel. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to say start of carousel, and then I'm going to type the keyboard shortcut Control / to make that a comment. And then I'm going to give myself an empty line, and I'm going to say end of carousel, and then Control / again to create a comment for the end of the carousel. This is really just something that helps me know where I'm adding code. I'm going to be copying and pasting heavily from the Bootstrap website. So if I mess something up, I want to know, okay, I could just delete everything between these two comments and kind of clean up and start over again. I'm also going to remove this bear image right now. Rather than just deleting it, since I might mess something up and need to go back, I'm going to comment it out. So I'm going to highlight that line of code and again press Control /, which will put the comment symbols before and after that line of code. And when I run I refresh my page, now the bear image is gone because our browser is ignoring those comments. Okay, here we're going to go to www.getbootstrap.com to look for the carousel documentation. So new tab, getbootstrap.com, get to the home page. I'm going to use the search category or the search bar. I'm going to type in carousel, CAROUSEL, and I've found the carousel documentation. I've got some explanation about how it works. Carousel is a slideshow for cycling through a series of content. It works with CSS, cascading style sheets, transformations, and a bit of JavaScript. It works on a series of images, text, or custom markup, so we can do a couple different things. We're going to focus on images today. It also includes support for previous and next controls and indicators. For performance reasons, carousels must be manually initialized using the carousel constructor method. Without initialization, some of the event listeners, specifically the events needed to touch and swipe support, will not be registered. Great. The only exception are auto-playing carousels with the data bs-ride attribute. I think that's pretty good. Okay, it does not support a carousel within a carousel. It doesn't support nested carousels. Let's get to it. Okay, basic example. We go down to their examples. Here's the basic example. First image, I can click on the next or the indicator and it will move to the second and third slide and then go back to the first. So if I want to build a very simple carousel that can only go back and forth and only when you click on it, I would copy this code here using this copy to clipboard button and then paste it in to my code, into my index.html. I paste it after the first opening comment and before the ending comment. I'm going to close this so that we can see it a little bit better. Now, when this happens, this is not code that will actually work. I need to tell this code which images I want it to use. Right now, there are 3 image tags in my carousel already. First slide, second slide, third slide. But for the source, it doesn't tell me anything. So if I were to run my code right here, I can see the 3 dots and I can I can advance or go back in the slides, but I don't see anything. I'm going to go ahead and fill in my alt text first. So the alt text, I think I said I was going to do a bear image and then a tiger image and then a surfer. I think those are some of the ones that I remember. If I run it again, now that I have alt text, I can see the alt text displaying because for some reason the images aren't loading. Why aren't they loading? Well, they're not loading because I didn't use the appropriate source tags yet. The name of the bear image file is bears 800x600.jpg, and you can see when I hover over it, it highlights the full file path. I can even copy the file path and paste it in there, or we just type it out by hand. img / means open the image folder. Bears 800x600.jpg tells me to open up that JPEG file of the bear. If I run it again, I should see that now I have a bear as my first image, but in the second image, I have the tiger and the surfer and then back to the bear. Well, I still need to put in those other image tags. So img / this is the tiger image, tiger 800x600.jpg, and finally img / this is supposed to be the surfer. So I'm going to accidentally, on purpose, put in the wrong surfer image. This surfer image has a 1920 by 1080 image. It's bigger. It's a different size. So I want to show you what that looks like. As I advance, see how the size was a little bit different? It just looks a little bit off because the surfer image is wider and shorter than the tiger or the bear image. So when they're inconsistent sizes, you get this weird thing. It doesn't look that bad on the small screen. But if I open this up in a new tab and we check it out here, watch the text below on the Earth heading. See how it jumped up? And then if I go back, it jumps back down and it moves the text around on the page as the carousel is running. That's really distracting for users if the text is moving around and you're trying to actually read this website. So the big takeaway is whenever we are making a carousel, we want to make sure that we're using images that have the same dimensions. So I'll go back and I'll find the surfer image that has an 800 by 600 .jpg. And then when I run it, they'll be consistently sized and I don't have to worry about them jumping around anymore. Same here. Now that all three images are the same size, I can advance easily through them. But Mr. Crockett, what do we do if we need more images? We want more than 3 images. Well, each one of these div class carousel items is an image. So if I want to add another one, I can copy one of those divs, paste it. I'm going to get my indentation correct by pressing the format button, and it helps line up all my divs. Now I have a 1, 2, 3, 4 carousel items. And for this last image, I'm going to change to Sierra's 800x600. And I'll change the alt text to Sierra Nevada Mountains. Creating a 4th image there in my carousel. All right. Obviously, if I wanted a carousel that had a little bit more features, like maybe I want these little indicators at the bottom, then this code here shows the indicators. There's not a big difference, but this piece of code is added to the codes here so that it displays these indicators. If you wanted stuff to have like captions and tell you what each image was about, and each slide should have its own caption, then you would use this bit of code for your carousel. If you want them to fade from image to image instead of slide, you can use this crossfade one. If you want an auto playing carousel that automatically starts advancing, then you can find the code here. Okay. The biggest difference is they've added this data BS ride carousel attribute to the opening div. So now it's going to autoplay every 5 seconds or so. Okay. A couple different examples. This one has different intervals for each slide so that the different slides pause for a different amount of time. And auto playing ones with controls or without controls. There are lots of different types of examples that you can use. I hope this helps build your carousel. Make sure that you're using images that are the same size, and you should replace this one here. The next thing that we're going to do is you're going to go to dogs and pigs, and on your own, you're going to replace that large dog image with a carousel that has 3 pictures of different dogs, at least 3. Okay.